Stop. Just stop. Take a breath. Close your eyes if you dare, and think. Every choice you believe is yours might not be, not really. Your brain, it decided first, before the urge, before the thought, before the feeling that you chose. Ask yourself, when was the last time you acted, and then wondered, why did I do that? Was it really you? Or something behind the curtain, pulling strings you cannot see? Your mind, the you know, is it the driver or merely the passenger? Every text, every glance, every step, predicted, already decided, by a part of you barely know exists. Think, right now, the last choice you made, was it truly yours? Or already written, by your own brain? Imagine a world where your thoughts are not your own, where every decision, every move, has already been decided. Impossible, you say? Yet science whispers otherwise. In 1983, Benjamin Libet did an experiment. A simple flick of the wrist, that's all. Yet his machines saw the movement before the participants themselves even felt they had decided. 0.3 seconds. Seems small, right? But in that fraction of a second, your brain took the lead. Ask yourself, how many moments in your life have passed where you thought you chose, but you didn't? That coffee you picked this morning, that text you sent without thinking, that swipe, that click. Were you the chooser, or just along for the ride? Your brain is a master of prediction, always calculating, always guessing. It sees patterns. It anticipates outcomes, nudges you before you even know the choice exists. Think of a moment you acted impulsively. Did it feel sudden? Or did your body already know before your mind caught up? Some experiments show the brain can anticipate your decisions up to 10 seconds in advance. Pause. Think. Could it be that your brain already knows the next word you will say, the next step you will take? The decisions you believe are conscious are often shadows of your brain's silent commands. And now, ask yourself, if the brain decides first, who are you in all this? Have you ever paused and wondered why you act the way you do? Not just the big choices, not just life-changing decisions, but the small ones, the ones that feel effortless, the ones you barely notice. The truth is, your brain is always working, always anticipating, always predicting. It observes patterns in your life, the rhythm of your steps, the flicker of your eyes, the tension in your shoulders, and in silence, it decides. Ask yourself, how often do you act without a thought? The coffee you drank this morning, the route you took to work, the song you chose to play, how much of it was you and how much was already written by your own brain? Consider this. Science shows that nearly 40% of what we do daily happens automatically, not consciously. Habits, triggers, emotions, all running in the background, guiding us silently, invisibly. Think of a moment when you felt anger, a sudden flare of emotion. Did it rise from nowhere, or had your brain already primed you to react before you even realized it? Or think of joy, a smile, a laugh. Did it bubble from your conscious mind, or was your brain already pulling the strings behind the scenes? Pause. Right now. Consider the last time you acted out of fear, desire, or impulse. Was it really you acting, or a prediction your brain made before you were aware? And there's more. Your surroundings, even the smallest cues, influence your choices. A smell, a sound, a word can guide your behavior without your consent. Ever walked into a room and suddenly felt a mood shift? Happy, sad, tense. Why? Not because of your will, but because your brain read the signals before you even notice them. Your mind believes it is free, but the silent director is your brain. Ask yourself, the next choice you make, will it be yours, or already decided? Have you ever done something and immediately wished you hadn't? A word spoken too quickly, A text sent without thinking, a decision made, that nod at your chest afterward? Ask yourself, was it really you who made that choice? Or was it your brain playing a silent game predicting your behavior before you even knew what you wanted? Imagine a courtroom in your mind. You are the judge, the jury, and the defendant. Your conscience accuses you. Why did you do this? But the silent witness is your own brain. Science shows, by the time you feel guilt, regret, or shame, your brain had already decided the action. You're only catching up after the fact. Think about it. The last time you blamed yourself or blamed someone else, was your action truly conscious? Or was it predicted before your awareness arrived? Pause. Reflect. The next time anger rises, the next time desire tugs at you, the next time fear freezes your steps, ask yourself, is this mine? Or a pre-scripted echo from the hidden machinery of your brain? And yet, here's the paradox. Even if your brain decides first, even if you are merely catching up, you can still reflect, you can still learn, you can still guide the next decision. Think of the power in that. Awareness becomes your ally, reflection becomes your weapon. Even if the first choice wasn't conscious, you can influence the second, the third, the next 100. Ask yourself, when you feel regret, what if it isn't punishment, but a signal? A signal that your brain is showing you a pattern. You can still change? Close your eyes. Imagine your life as a theater. You are on stage performing every day. You believe you are the playwright. You believe you are improvising freely. But behind the curtains, behind the lights, a silent director moves the pieces. This director is your brain. Every habit you've ever formed, every routine you follow, every small decision you make is guided by unseen forces. Ask yourself, how much of what you do is automatic, not conscious? Science tells us nearly 40 to 50% of daily behavior is habitual, programmed, running silently in the basal ganglia, the part of your brain responsible for patterns and routines. Think about it. The route you take to work, the way you brush your teeth, the order in which you check your phone, all pre-decided by your brain's prediction engine, not your conscious mind. And there's more. Your environment is whispering to you. Every sign, every sound, every smell, every color, every word. Your brain interprets them and nudges your choices even before you realize it. Imagine walking into a coffee shop. A scent hits your nose. A song plays. You reach for a pastry. Did you choose it? Or did your brain already predict your desire before you knew you had one? Ask yourself, how often have you acted in ways that surprised you or felt pulled toward something with no clear reason? That pull is your brain reading the environment, predicting your desires before your awareness catches up. Here's the science behind it. The brain uses predictive coding. It constantly creates models of the world, anticipates outcomes, and reacts accordingly. This saves energy. It makes you efficient. It makes life seamless. But here's the shadow side. Predictive patterns can trap you. Habits can chain you. Your environment can manipulate you without your conscious consent. Pause. Reflect. The choices you make, the things you desire, the things you avoid, how many of them are truly yours? And yet, there is hope. Understanding these hidden forces gives you power. Awareness of habits can help you redesign them. Understanding environmental cues can help you nudge yourself toward better decisions. Ask yourself, what small habit could you change today if you knew your brain was guiding it silently? What influence in your environment could you control to help your choices align with your goals? The benefits of knowing this: you can redesign your life. You can form positive habits. You can avoid destructive ones. You can consciously steer your path, even when your brain predicts it first. The disadvantages: you may feel uncomfortable. You may feel like a puppet. At first, You may confront the illusion of free will, and that can be unsettling. But here's the twist. Awareness is power. Understanding is freedom. Even if your brain acts first, you can learn, adapt, and guide the next move. Ask yourself now, which part of your life is running on autopilot? And which part could you take back? If you truly understood your brain, imagine this: your brain is a driver. You are the passenger. Every day it navigates roads you barely see. It anticipates every turn, every stop, every choice. But here's the secret. You can learn to influence the driver. Not immediately, not instantly, but subtly, like a whisper guiding a storm. Ask yourself, what if the next choice you make could be predicted by your brain? Could you still steer it? Science says yes. Your brain is plastic. It changes. It adapts. It learns from every experience, every reflection, every pause. Here's a wow moment. Mindfulness doesn't just calm you, it rewires your brain. By noticing automatic impulses, by observing without judgment, you create new pathways, new choices, even when the old ones are already predicted. Ask yourself, what could you change if you learned to pause before the autopilot kicked in? If your brain is always one step ahead, could you catch it in time and guide the next move? Here's another mindbender. Your environment is a teacher. Every smell, every sound, every image influences your brain silently. But if you control your environment, you control the predictions. You set the stage, and your brain follows. Think about your room, your phone, your routines. Could you remove triggers of bad habits? Could you place cues for better decisions? Even the smallest change can ripple into a chain reaction of choices, your brain executing them, your awareness finally catching up and saying, yes, I chose this. And yet, there's danger here too. The same principles can manipulate you. Advertising, social media, peer pressure. Your brain predicts your actions. Before you know you're being nudged. Ask yourself, how many times have you acted, not because you wanted to, but because your brain read the signals first, and you didn't even notice? Pause. Reflect. The power of the brain is astonishing. Predicts, decides, and guides faster than your awareness. But with awareness, with reflection, with small interventions, you can influence the invisible driver. And here's the ultimate question. If the brain can predict your desires and your habits shape your days, how would your life change? If you learn to play along, consciously, with the predictions, the benefits are immense. Better decisions, healthier habits, more focus, control over your impulses. Your life flows in harmony with your own hidden machinery. The disadvantages takes effort, patience, and vigilance. You may confront uncomfortable truths. You may realize how many choices were illusions, and that can shake you. But the reward is freedom. Freedom not of the brain, but of the mind that knows and can guide it. Imagine you are standing in a room of mirrors. Every reflection shows a version of you. Some are familiar, some feel strange, some you do not recognize. Now ask yourself, which one is real? Which one is you? Your brain decides first, before awareness, before reflection, before you believe you made a choice. But if the driver acts before the passenger, who is really in control? Think of the split brain experiments. When the connection between your brain's hemispheres is severed, the two halves can act independently. One hand may button your shirt, while the other unbuttons it. Ask yourself, if your body acts in ways you don't consciously command, who is you? And yet, consciousness feels real. Awareness feels real. Your thoughts, your emotions, they feel yours. But what if they are only the echo of the silent machinery behind the scenes? Pause. Reflect. The decisions you think are free, the impulses you call spontaneous, could they be predicted by patterns your brain has already learned, by neural pathways already set, by the rhythm of your environment? Here's a wow moment. Studies have shown that even before a conscious decision is made, your brain lights up, predicting what you will do. And sometimes, by several seconds, ask yourself, if your brain knows your next move, before you do, what does that say about free will, about responsibility, about the self? And yet, here is the twist. Awareness itself, even if it arrives after the choice, can influence the next action. Even if you are the passenger, you can guide the journey by observing, reflecting, and understanding. Think about your own life, the choices you've made, the moments you've acted without understanding why. How would it feel to realize you are not powerless? You are not merely predicted. You are an active participant in the dance of your brain and your mind. Pause. Think. The next decision you make, the next impulse you feel, could it be the first one you truly guide? And here's the ultimate reflection. Maybe the question isn't whether you have free will. Maybe the question is how you respond when you realize that the choice was never fully yours, but you can influence what comes next. And now, take a deep breath. Look inward, as if the universe itself is folding into your mind. For 90 minutes, we've wandered through the corridors of your consciousness. We've glimpsed the hidden machinery, the silent director, the brain that predicts, the habits that run unseen, the environment that whispers instructions before awareness catches up. Ask yourself, how many choices today were truly yours? How many were predicted before your mind even noticed? And yet, how many of them could you influence? If only you became aware of the patterns, of the silent whispers, of the invisible strings pulling at your decisions. Think back to your day, your week, your life. All those moments you acted without understanding why. All the impulses, the urges, the emotions, the small victories, the regrets, the hesitation. Did you notice them as they arose? Or were you merely catching up after the fact? Imagine a life where you could see them all. A life where awareness flows like light, illuminating every shadow, where reflection becomes your tool, and understanding your power, even when the first choice was never conscious. This is the paradox. Even if free will is not what we think it is, even if the brain decides before we consciously know, awareness, reflection, and intention give us a doorway, a space, a moment to guide what comes next. Ask yourself if you could take control, even slightly, of the predictions your brain makes. How would your day change? How would your life change? How would your relationships change? How would your decisions, your habits, your ambitions, your regrets transform if you became the co-pilot of your own mind? Pause, think, feel. Every decision you make from this moment on can be different if you remember what you've learned here. Every habit you notice, every environment cue you recognize, every impulse you observe is an opportunity, a chance to steer, to choose, to intervene. Even when the first choice was predicted, ask yourself, which part of your life has been running on autopilot? Which choices have been shadows of your brain's silent predictions? Which emotions, which desires, which fears have been guiding you without your conscious knowledge? And now, here is the ultimate reflection. You are not powerless. You are not just a passenger. You are a witness, a participant, a conscious observer of the patterns, of the machine that is your brain. And in that awareness, you hold a power, a subtle, quiet power, to influence, to nudge, to reshape, even when the first step was not taken consciously by you. Ask yourself, how much control can awareness give you? How much freedom can reflection unlock? How much of your life could you transform if every predicted action, every silent impulse, was met with observation and intentional guidance? Think of the beauty in this. Even if the brain predicts the next word, even if the habits run on autopilot, even if the environment whispers suggestions, your awareness, your reflection, your pause is the doorway to influence. Ask yourself, Can you imagine seeing all your unconscious patterns, like a map laid before you, every habit, every urge, every predicted impulse, and stepping onto that map, consciously choosing the next path, even if it was predicted before awareness arrived? Pause again, breathe, let it sink in. And now I have a question for you, my viewer. From which city are you watching this video? What time is it there at this exact moment? I want you to pause, reflect, and even comment below, because knowing your context, your world, is part of understanding your choices and how your brain interacts with your life. And if you've been reflecting, questioning, feeling, if you've been pulled along the currents of curiosity, awe, and wonder, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, Lurix. Join this journey of exploration, where we uncover the hidden workings of the mind, the unseen patterns of behavior, the mysteries of choice and awareness, together. And finally, from me, Jahanzeb, thank you. Thank you for watching, for thinking, for questioning, for diving deep into the corridors of your own mind, where the driver is hidden, the passenger is conscious, and the journey is entirely yours to observe, to influence, to wonder. Ask yourself one last time before this video ends. What will you do with the awareness you now have? Which impulse will you notice? Which habit will you change? Which choice will you guide? Even when your brain has already decided it for you. Think deeply, reflect honestly, and step forward into the world with the quiet power of awareness, the subtle freedom of reflection, and the understanding that even when your choices are predicted, you still have the power to influence, to guide, to live consciously. So, tell me below, from which city are you watching this? What is the time there? And if you felt the shift, the curiosity, the wonder, if you want to continue exploring, subscribe to Lurix. Join me, Jahanzeb, on this journey, because your mind, your brain, your awareness are the most fascinating landscapes you will ever explore, and together we can uncover their mysteries, one reflection, one question, one choice at a time. Pause, reflect, and remember, even when your brain decides first, you can still choose how to respond, and in that choice, you find your freedom, your power, and your mind's endless potential.